Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you're still all doing well. I'm just going to show you today a few different fringes. Okay, so this is one thing that a lot of learners get a little bit nervous about. Might do the whole cut and then they'll say, "Oh Debbie, will you cut the fringe?" But I want you to be able to cut the fringe as well. So there's a few different types. This one I'm just going to show you first. What I'm wanting to do is bring the hair up and just have like a little bit of a sweeping fringe down there, so not a definite fringe. So I've taken a triangle section, and when you do your triangle, rock your comb, your cutting comb, and it shouldn't go past the eyebrow. If your triangle's like that, you're taking hair that really should be coming into your sides, not into your fringe, and the same there. So just make sure you rock it and it just goes to the eyebrow. If you want a really heavy fringe, just go further back and still do the same. If you're only wanting a fine fringe, you could just do it to here and do that bit. All right, so that's really important that you're not cutting into the sides, particularly if someone's got very fine hair, because you're taking all that what could be at the sides. So this is the sweeping over fringe. So I'm going to take a segment from the middle, and I've discussed with my client how long she wants it. Obviously when the hair was dry, I checked all the hair growth patterns to make sure that that's not going to affect my cut. And I'm bringing this hair up straight at 90-degree angle to the head. I've got a little guideline there, and that's what I'm going to use as my guideline. So I'll go up to it and cut at 90 degrees to the head. I'll turn it around so you can see on the next bit. That's there, okay? Bit of hair from the next one. So keep that. Take another piece from your triangle and over direct it, following that lovely guideline you've got. And just blunt cutting it. You can point cut it if you prefer, just to soften the edge a little bit. Again, and bring that up to there. And then we're going to repeat the same at the other side. Come around here. Nice fine section. Keep the hair wet, keep a nice even tension. Up it goes, following your guideline. If you really want to keep it long, you could really over direct it towards yourself. She's quite happy. Just a bit of graduation. And the last little bit of my triangle, bringing it up into there. And then when my client has her middle part in, she'll have a little bit of a nice sweeping fringe. When you dry that, that could flick into the sides and that'll look really nice, just graduated down a little bit. Well done. So I've dried the fringe just to show you how that will look, and it just sweeps down nicely. You might decide then to layer into this, or it might be a one length cut and you'll leave that. But it's just a nice soft effect. You can always go a little bit shorter if you wanted to. I'm now going to show you a full fringe. So now we're going to do a full fringe. I've still got my triangle section and I've taken a fine piece out. Some people prefer to cut a fringe dry, some people prefer to do it wet. It's totally up to you, whichever you find easier. Just make sure you have taken into account hair growth patterns. If your client does have one, you are better cutting it dry so you can allow for it. And then you would cut it a little bit more freehand. I'll show you that as I'm doing. Okay, this client doesn't, so I'm just going to come down here. I'm going to make sure your client's facing you. So start in the middle, keep a nice even tension, but don't put too much tension on, because when it bounces back then it might be too short. So just rest your fingers on the bridge of your client's nose. So comb down, rest your fingers there. And just for this, we're just going to club cut straight across. The here, I'm going to bring this across to the middle, like that, so it's travelled a little bit further. And again, club cutting straight across. And then at this side, the exact same. So each side has travelled in, so eventually when we've finished, just have a nice curve to her eyebrows when it dries up. So you take another piece, just a nice fine piece so you can see your guideline. Comb it down. If your client did have hair growth patterns and you were doing it dry, I would comb it down and then just cut it freehand without any tension so that you can avoid getting a shorter bit at one point. Here, straight down, following the guideline, across, cutting it straight, and then across again. So that's over directed. And then take this in 2 more sections. If you're unsure, take really fine sections, and then if you make any tiny errors, you can go back and correct it a little bit. And again, across here. If the client has a really thick hair, you might take a finer fringe, or you might point cut into this. The final piece. Bring it down, and again, following your guideline, working really safely with your comb and scissors, and I've never put them down once I've started. Across, let it dry, and then I'll show you that when it's dry. Okay. So I've finished a fringe, I've just dried it, and if you found you've any little stray hairs, just freehand cut into them. Just obviously it's easier with her, but as a client you have to be careful with their eyes. Just get them to close their eyes, and then once again you might choose to leave that separate, or you might decide to blend it in, whatever you and your client agree. There's just a stray hair there I'm just going to get. And that's a nice full fringe. I'd recommend your client comes back every maybe 3 weeks for that, to keep it to that length. A good idea would be to not charge them for that, because then when they come another time they can have the full cut and blow dry, or colours, whatever, and they would appreciate that. Okay, I'll show you one more fringe. So finally, I'm just going to show you a side fringe. I'm going to have to show you on myself. So I've got a side parting, and then I've got my triangle section. Okay, I'm not going to take very much off this because I don't need a lot taking off really. So what I'd want is it just to sweep across here a little bit. So I'm going to comb the hair, and that's following this lines here, following the section line that I've taken. And then I'm just going to cut at that angle. Pretty difficult on yourself, but you can do it, or it'd be easier on the training head. And then just point cut into it to soften it a little bit. Okay, so my angle is like that, so that when I bring it back across here, that's going to lay really nicely, hopefully, into there. Okay, so I'd like you to feel a bit more confident with fringes. It's not a big deal, so have a practice. Make sure you're holding your comb and scissors safely, and keep practicing and keep safe. Take care.